Hello everyone, and welcome to my final Spanish 2 project. So I decided I'm just going to make a video and include all the things that are supposed to be on the rubric. So here we go. First up, we got the clothes. So over here in the upper left corner, we got this nice little dude with a shirt, some jeans. We got camiseta, saco, vaqueros, zapatilla de tenis, and just this kid. I'm not going to go through all of them, but it's a wide variety of clothing we have going on in this slide. Next up, we have the present tense reflexive verb chart. The reflexive verbs are pretty much verbs that when you use them is like things you do to yourself. So like taking a bath, bañarse, you're giving a bath to yourself. Or like cepillarse, which is brushing your own hair, you're brushing yourself. And then here we just have three examples, an AR, an IR, and an ER. They're pretty similar, especially the IR and ER. They have the same endings here. AR just ends with an A instead of with an A. Next up, we have the present tense stem changing verbs. So in Spanish, of course, there's always exceptions, and some of those exceptions are stem changing verbs. And these are categorized into three categories. We got the E to II, all of these from here, and then the E to I, and then the O to UE. So if we look at some examples here, we got tener, which goes into tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, and tienen. Or an IR verb like medir, we got mido, mides, mide, medimos, and miden. They're just built different, so you just have to keep a close eye on them and have this list of verbs memorized, so you know not to mess up when you conjugate them. Next up, it's a little paragraph I wrote about myself, and this in this picture is think 6-year-old Teo. So I have something to look at while I say this. So here we go. Hola, soy Teo. Yo nací el 25 noviembre en Rumania, pero ahora y vivo en Minnesota. Yo tengo 18 años y yo soy alto y delgado. Mi pelo es castaño y mis ojos son azules. Yo soy gracioso también. Me encanta arroz con leche, pero me odio berenjenas. Me gusta correr y levantar pesas, pero no me gusta sentarme. Yo juego tenis y videojuegos. Yo cuido a mi hermana y doy de comer las aves. Yo participo en JROTC también. Mi familia es pequeña. El nombre de mi madre es Simona y mi padre es Doug. Yo tengo una hermana menor, Alice. So there's that. And next up on the list, we have chores. So in this pictures here you can see all types of room from kitchen to garage and all types of chores you can do in each of them. So that is awesome. Next up we have the difference between ser and estar, which are both very similar verbs, but do not get them mixed up. You only use ser when you think about date, occupation, characteristics, time, origin, and relation. And estar when you're talking about position, location, action, condition, or emotion. And here is the present and past of each of them. Next up we have the preterite, which is just a fancy word for past tense in Spanish. So as we know, verbs have three endings, AR, ER, and IR. And AR, these are the endings for verbs when you're talking about the past in Spanish. And there's an exception when the verb ends with gar, car, or zar. And then we have the ER and IR, which are conjugate the same way, but the IR has two exceptions. It's when talking about stem changing verbs, and also there are a couple of verbs that transform from an I to a Y. And of course there's a bunch of verbs that are exceptions as well, and they are the ones on the bottom here. We got to be, to do, to have, to see, to give, to put, to be able to, and to come. Next up we have professions. Here on the slide we have a bunch of jobs, to be specific 15, each one under the big font. There is a verb that is associated with that job. So like firefighter would be el bombero, which is salvar, which is to save. That's what they'd be doing. They'd be saving people. Or like a scientist, la científica, which is experimentar, to experiment. And there's 15 of those. And then we have the present progressive, which is when something is happening in the moment, aka the Spanish version of an ing verb in English. So how you form this, basically, you take a star and the forms of a star on the upper left corner, and then you put the verb after a star, and depending on the ending, you switch up the last letters of the verb. So an AR verb would end with ando, and an ER or IR would end with an iendo. And I have 6 sentences here just for examples and pictures related to them. So like, Alan está comiendo un McChicken. Alan is eating a McChicken. There he is right there. He's real excited to munch on that McChicken. And last but certainly least, I'm gonna talk about Argentina. So Argentina is located in South America, and it's a very tradition-centered country. A lot of festivities, a lot of dancing, a lot of parades. It's really, really cool. When I was researching, I looked up Argentinian parades, and there are some really crazy pictures going on there. Super cool. And also, it's a really unique country. You have the beach side, bunch of people on the beach having fun swimming in the ocean. But you also have crazy big cities like Buenos Aires, the capital. Really advanced, very nice. And also you got super cool mountains. And of course, really athletic country too. The home country of Lionel Messi, one of the greatest soccer players of all time. Argentina overall is a pretty epic country. I would say they're way better than other countries in South America that are dealing with poverty and stuff. I'm sure Argentina is not perfect, but it seems more advanced than the countries surrounding it. And that is my Spanish 2 final project. Thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, of course. You know the drill. See you guys later.